What do organizing and counseling have in common? Hi, I'm Susan Stewart, professional organizer and owner of Perfectly Placed.
And I'm Travis Stewart, a professional counselor. And this is Organizing Deep Dive, where we take a deeper look at the issues surrounding organizing so that your life is easier.
So Travis, can you tell us a little bit about anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely. Anxiety is actually the most common mental health struggle in the United States. Something like 40 million adults over 18 struggle with anxiety. That's nearly 20% of all adults struggle with some form of anxiety or another. We're very future-oriented with anxiety. We're almost always worried about what will happen in the future, what's going to happen, how will this affect me. Sometimes it gets connected to the past, but it's usually about how will my past affect me in the future. And so, there's some things that we can talk about at the end about how to help.
Okay.
Ground you in the present rather than being so future oriented. But that's one of the main features of anxiety, is just constant worry about what might happen, which is just terrifying.
Now, doesn't everybody think about the future? I mean, how do you know, that's just normal thinking about the future versus what is anxiety?
Yeah, and obviously, planning ahead is wise. Thinking about the future and how the consequences of your current behavior might affect you is wise.
Okay.
It's when it...
And organized.
And organized.
And organized.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it's about the irrational sometimes thoughts. So thoughts can spin out of control, and there's something that's called catastrophizing, which means kind of you go from a minor fear. I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm going to get a bad grade on a test. To all of a sudden that goes to I'm going to fail out of college.
Okay.
So that's one form of anxiety. Or it's a constant worrying about small things that seem to be really big things, and they consume you all of the time. So that's another way anxiety is unhelpful. So it's the intensity, the frequency, and to some degree the irrationality of the thoughts that tell us about how much anxiety is affecting us.
Okay. So one of the ways that I see anxiety played out with some of our clients is kind of the what if syndrome. When we're going through belongings, thinking about maybe a basement or something full of stuff. It's like, what if I need this again? What if I, need that extra crock pot or whatever?
Right. And connected with that is if I get rid of it and I do need it, I won't be able to survive not having it. This...
Is that kind of one of those irrational fears, you're saying?
If you got rid of the crock pot, and you really, really needed it in the future, you could probably go to the neighbors and borrow a crock pot.
Yeah.
Or you could buy a new one.
Right.
Those types of things.
Right.
But so it's that what if, and it becomes this, I can't survive the what if. There's actually a study at Yale University that showed that when you try to get rid of something that you are emotionally connected to, that the part of your brain that that deals with conflict and pain overreacts. And
That's interesting.
Yeah, the stronger your connection is to the object you're trying to get rid of, the more they overreact.
Okay.
So there's something going on in the brain when they say, "Hey, can we get rid of this? This baby clothes that somebody's had for 20 years and they no longer need." But there's an emotional connection, so it's hard.
So does that mean that we shouldn't get rid of anything?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't either.
I want to hear your thoughts on how you help clients do that. How can you help clients clear out things that are meaningful to them but no longer are serving a purpose and now are creating anxiety because there's so much clutter?
Yeah. So one of the first things I do is just identify the issue. So, so you're feeling anxiety, and that's perfectly normal. Lots of people feel anxiety when they're gonna start organizing. And
can I jump in?
Yeah.
Because actually, that in psychological terms, that's called labeling. So we're labeling the anxiety. We're naming it. We're acknowledging it, and actually that alone helps decrease anxiety. Brain scans show that just simply naming the anxiety will help decrease it a little bit.
So another thing I'll do, especially with a new client, is just let them know, you are in control. I'm not going to make you get rid of anything you're not ready to get rid of. Because sometimes people have preconceived ideas that like it's just going to be scary to have me come in and force them to get rid of things.
Yeah.
So I just
you're so mean.
I'm so mean. But just letting them know you have the final decision. It's going to be my job to push you a little bit. That's why I'm here and help you think through those, but you always have the final decision.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I do with clients who have anxiety is remind them of the choices that they have, that they do have choices. They may not like all the choices. It may be difficult choices at times, but there are choices, and that can give a greater sense of control as well.
Well, thanks, Travis. This has been helpful information and stuff that, frankly, I think anyone could benefit from.
Absolutely.
For more organizing or anxiety tips, visit perfectlyplaced.org/deep dive.